heard we got some big news about the Trojans, huh?
Big news. USC is coming back to 710 ESPN, and that includes you, my friend. You are part of the USC postgame show and the pregame show, part of the USC Football Network, and as I can say now, the ESPN LA Trojans radio network this fall.
Woohoo, man. Happy to be back on, guys. We got a great show. It feels like I've been here doing this for a while now because we've been on ESPN before, and now we're back at it again. So feels good to be back home on ESPN.
Yeah, and Shaun, last year when we came down to your pizza shop, it was me, Sedano, Beto, Lindsay. Like, we had a whole contingent of people because we were all going to this 7-Eleven where Andrew Whitworth was going to join us later that day. And I've been bragging about your pizza all afternoon. Can you give a shout-out to the name of your pizza shop and where it is for everybody?
Oh, thanks, Cap. Appreciate the love for the old pizza shop. It's Pie Trap Pizza in Covina. My brother's out there. We're out here trying to make some pizza. Yeah, we love having you guys come out and sample the pizzas there. Hope you guys, it was up to your high level of expectations. I know Sedano's a foodie, so it was tough pleasing him. But, yeah, we love having you guys out, and we're having fun out there in Covina.
Well, what Chris and I do is when we leave the studio and we drive down to Orange County when I'm on my way back to South L.A., we usually will stop in somewhere in downtown L.A. and we'll grab a road pie. We got to get you guys to bring in some pizzas one day. I know it's a little bit of a schlep from Covina into downtown LA, but we got to do that on the air.
No doubt. We'll get taken care of. My brother will find a way. If there's a way, Big Paulie will get after you. He'll get you some pies.
Yeah, Big Paulie. That's exactly right. Hey, Shaun, it's so exciting to have SC back on the airwaves of 710. And as Chris mentioned, when you were coming out of high school, you were one of the biggest recruits in the country at the time. And this is all before, even though we're going back to the early parts of, the 2000s, this is before everything that's gone on in recruiting. Back then, as Pete Carroll was taking over and USC was not what it became, what made you commit to Pete and SC back then?
Yes, we're talking about way back before NIL and the portal era, guys. This is I'm a dinosaur of a guy now, so it was quite a while ago. But USC had been struggling for a while, and growing up in Southern California, I just wanted to be part of a turnaround. And Pete Carroll was coming in and excited about what he thought he could do at USC. Ed Ogeron was on as his defensive line coach, and he was motivated about putting together a defense. So those two guys together did a heck of a job in recruiting me, and we were excited about the direction we could take USC football back in and get back to those heydays of the McKays and the Robinson eras. And
then as a freshman, you didn't start immediately, but you a couple of games into your freshman year, you started to become a regular rotational part of that D line. Back then, again, 18-year-old kid coming out of high school. How was that for you to be inserted immediately? Were you big enough? Were you fast enough? Because obviously things took off from there later your freshman year.
Yeah, it's a big transition going from high school to college and trying to play immediately. Obviously, especially in the trenches, as a offensive or defensive lineman, it's a little more difficult than the transition at the skill positions because you got to be ready. Those are some grown men in there, and it took a little bit for me to get adjusted to the speed of the game and the size of the game. And Ed Ogeron thought, instead of having this kid out maybe at defensive end, let's move him down inside and see if he can rumble with the big fellas in the interior of the defensive line. And I got comfortable down there and then kind of progressed from there. The fortunate, sometimes you need some breaks. We had maybe some injuries. We needed some guys in there, and I was ready to do it. So yeah, it's a lot of it's timing and then taking advantage of those opportunities. But yeah, I was ready to go. Just needed to bide my time until I could start getting busy in the Pac-10 at the time.
Yeah.
Pac-10.
All right. Shaun Cody is with us. So Shaun Cody, the former All-American defensive lineman at USC, the former NFL defensive lineman, and now part of the USC broadcast team and now part of the 710 family, back on 710.
A la familia,
right,
Cappy.
As USC returns to the airwaves of 710.
Now, of course, Shaun Cody, the legend. He went to school in Hacienda Heights, but grew up in Whittier, as I grew up in Whittier, where the girls are prettier. And I got to ask you, in West Whittier, Shaun Cody, you ever been to State Corral?
Oh, yeah. I visited Old State Corral once or twice. So the Hacienda Heights. The Hacienda Heights kid, we'd venture over there into that State Corral once in a while.
Isn't that State Corral with the little cowboy outside? It's legendary. There's not a lot of places you can get a $12 steak anymore, and it's beautiful. It's old school. The State Corral. I'm going to have to take you there, Cappy.
Let's go.
The State Corral right there on Washington Boulevard in West Whittier.
A A lot of hidden gems in the SGV.
Absolutely. Shaun Cody, this fall, I mean, if you would have said before, especially when you were coming up, USC is going to play Michigan into Wisconsin, into Minnesota, and then Penn State, you would have thought we were talking about like a new playoff system and all bowl games. How exciting is it this fall? And we're so excited that the first year in the Big Ten is the first year back here with 710 ESPN. But which matchup are you looking forward to the most this season?
Oh, yeah, you said it. You said, Morales, it lines up perfectly for this schedule here. You know, you start off with LSU, neutral site in Las Vegas, and then you get going, man. It's you know, bye week into Michigan and Wisconsin, and all these great matchups. You think about bowl games and Rose Bowls and Big Ten, Pac-12 title games that have been played. It's a daunting task when you look at it. You look at that schedule and the way it breaks down with how many top tier teams we have to play in the Michigans and the Penn States. Still got Washington on the schedule, and then you finish with, of course, UCLA and Notre Dame. It's going to be a tough task for Lincoln and his boys, but I'm sure that they're going to be fired up for trying to represent well in their new conference.
Hey, Shaun, I love the history of SC football. I got to ask you, when you guys won the national championship, it was 2004. Do I have the year right? 2004?
Yeah, 2004. I think they took away one from us. I can't recall if we're two-time champs now or if we won a championship, but it seems about right that we did something well there.
Well, if they're giving Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy back, they should give everything back. You know, all the records and everything that went along with it. But when
bring it back,
right? This is what I want to ask you though. Like when you think back to then, that's 20 years ago, and when you close your eyes, if I said to you, you're in the locker room, who do you see? Like just. Who do you see all around you on that 2004 USC team?
Yeah, you know what? When I look back, it's not like one name that pops out. It was just that we were a team full of guys that just bought into a program. We were a team full of, I think, maybe overachievers at some level that, Coach Carroll got us to play at such a high level. And it wasn't really you look back and you think about Matt Leinart and the Reggie Bushes and the Lendell Weiss, and you remember those names. But a lot of the guys who were doing the dirty work on those teams were kind of unsung heroes. And those are the kind of guys that I think really that whole era was built upon. I think about the Lofa Tutupus, the Matt Grudegoods, the Mike Pattersons, Alex Holmes. I mean, some of these guys, you may not, you ask a common fan, they might not remember those guys, but those are the guys who really, at the time stepped up into that era and tried to get that thing rolling in the right direction. And those are the guys probably that I'll remember the most when I think back on that era.
Yeah, I love to hear the names. I always, because again, you say Leinart and Bush and those guys, everybody knows those names, but I'm interested in the guys that you said, did the grunt work, like when you're on that defensive line.
The Ryan Khalils and Sam Bakers on the offensive line, and, Lee Webb's at fullback. I mean, just a bunch of guys that, like I said, the common fan might not remember, but those guys were really the base and foundation of that program getting turned in the right direction.
Now, here's the thing. I'm looking at the menu for Pie Trap Pizza, Shaun Cody's pizza joint on Arrow Highway in Covina. And, Cappy, they got a pizza here called Straight Ballin'. It's got red sauce, mozzarella, ricotta, and your favorite, a meatball.
A meatball.
A meatball.
I love the meatball.
How's the meatballs over there, Shaun? Are they good over there at the Pie Trap Pizza?
Handmade meatballs. We're making those every day. We're cranking out meatballs. Speaking of meatballs, that's Pete Arbogast's favorite pizza right there. Legendary voice of the Trojans. Oh yeah, he's a meatball guy. So you got, those guys. We got a great team that comes in. You think about the broadcast team at USC. They supported me in everything I do, even with the pizza place. Jordan Moores and Sua Cravens and all those guys have swung by and check out the pizza. So yeah, we're having fun out there, and we're keeping the Trojan name alive out here at the pizza spot.
Any plans on expanding to go from one spot to multiple spots?
Oh yeah, if you guys got a spot for me right there if you guys got a spot right there in LA Live, we're ready to go. We're trying to get this first one under our rings and get everything situated here before we start expanding. I think it's been a fun thing for me and my brother, a lot of work, but definitely just trying to nail down this first one before we start looking out to get more available.
You mentioned the USC broadcast team. It's been an honor today. We had Jordan Moore on. We had Sua Cravens. We had Pete Arbogast. We had Coach Riley, Coach Musselman. It's been great, man, and it's great to end the day, what has been a landmark day here at 710 ESPN with you, the great Shaun Cody, USC Trojan legend, 8-year NFL vet, and part of the USC broadcast team. Every week this fall here on 710 ESPN. And here's the thing, man. We're going to do a remote at your pizza joint.
Oh, dude, for sure.
And you're going to keep coming on with us. That's how it's going to work this fall, I think. You like that? I love that.
Let's do it, fellas. Let's get everybody